there.
There you are.
Okay, am I, maybe that was it. But aren't I supposed to hear something through this?
Yes. Ask him to call you.
Okay, now somebody out there, please call me at 1501-437-2963 and tell me if I'm on, because that's the only way. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
This is Don down in Louisiana again. You're on now, loud and clear.
I'm on. Oh, good, Don. Thanks a lot. If you're the one I shut off, I didn't mean to. Okay.
Look, well, get your little shortwave and listen to
Well, we've got one. We've got one, but it doesn't work that way. I don't know anything about these highfalutin electronics gadgets. I learned to use a wheelbarrow. What do you expect?
Right on, I heard that.
Yes.
Well, all the best to you, Kurt.
Well, thank you very much, and I sure appreciate you people out there for holding on.
Right on, we wouldn't miss you for the world.
Well, I'm glad. Anyway, what happened was, see, my dog chewed up the phone cord, and then I went and replaced it, and I must have hit something or other, and it just messed everything up. And then we finally got on for a minute, and then somebody at the station must have pushed the wrong button. But
My fault. My fault.
oh, okay, it was Carrie's fault.
Well, I got 3 snouters, and they know things up to. We just forgive them.
Well, we love them. Yes, that's it.
We love your dog too, so we forgive him.
Yeah. Well, Speckles, he's a good dog, but he's a pup, and he still chews.
Right, my youngest snouter does too. I'll let you go unless somebody else.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, the phone number is 501-437-2963, and the address for the $10 information packet is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas 72611. Hello, Kurt here.
Hey, Kurt, I thought maybe it was a conspiracy to take you off the air.
No, and unless Speckles is a conspirator. But I don't think he still squats. He's a big dog, but he's a bird dog, and he points and he squats and he chews. And I don't know what happened. That will never happen again. Things are always happening. We just try to make sure they don't ever happen again. But anything that can happen will. But
I'm getting enough money together now. You know, I told you before, I'm from Old Town, Florida.
yeah.
I was out of work.
Mhm.
I'm going to start getting your packet and other books.
Well, what did you do when you were working?
I was a courier.
Well, you need your own business.
Yeah, I do. We've gotten one of our major payments out of the way, and we've got one more to go in about 3 months.
Yeah. Well, if you should start by cutting your food bill back and eating better in the same time, then you could do a lot better on your payments and everything else.
Well, I've got about an 18 by 36 garden, and we use a lot of it out of there.
Oh, good.
We use a lot of the garden.
Good.
So I get a tire garden going out here.
Well, when you get a tire garden, you might tell me how to turn the tires inside out once you cut out the top rim. Because I haven't figured that out yet.
Like,
Come again?
you have to like cut lines into it, scallop it or something like that, and then it'll turn out.
I don't think so.
Well,
Because we've got photographs of tires that have been turned outside and inside out, and there's no kind of cutting except the inside metal rim that goes on the the wheel.
Right, where the bead is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out, and then I'll tell everybody.
Yeah. But anyway, on your rifles, I grew up with an M1 in the Marine Corps, and I like my semi-automatic.
Yeah.
But right now I have a Chinese SK.
Yes.
And I don't know, I've talked to my wife several times. I don't know whether I'm going to go back to a 306 or not.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think you ought to go back to 30-06. But that's up to you.
yeah, well, I like my little semi-automatic. You can put down a pretty good field of fire if you just don't spray and pray.
Yeah. Well,
You know, that's what they did in Vietnam. Just hold it up and spray it and hope you hit something.
yeah. Well, if they had shot, one shot, one kill,
Yeah.
they'd learned to do that.
That's what I grew up on in the old Marine Corps, was one shot, one kill.
Yeah.
And now it's just put as many rounds out as you can and hope you hit something.
Yeah. Well, just however you like it.
get your books and get going on all this stuff and get everything ready. And I have understood that the Shirker tribesmen from India, you know who they are?
The Sherpas.
Yeah, the Sherpas are.
That's Himalayas.
Are in North Florida training.
Yeah, I'm sure you heard that, but have you checked it out?
No, they're supposed to be at Camp Landing.
Well, you just go there and check it out, or you must have...
Anywhere near those.
Oh, you sure can. You sure can.
I understand they're the most ruthless people in the world.
Well, they're not. The Sherpas mainly hire themselves out as guides for mountain climbing. I think you're talking about Gurkhas. And the Gurkhas are an Indian contingent. They fight only for India.
Yeah.
No, I mean they fight only for England.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't like the climate where you are because it would be too hot for them. They wouldn't even train there. See, my uncle during the Second World War fought with the Gurkhas alongside him. And he said they were the best men available, and they were really good, and they're sweet people. And there's no Gurkhas in Florida. So who told you that?
It was on another news program.
Well, whatever news program it was, he was a willful and knowledgeable liar.
How do you think they're going to get Clinton out of office?
Well, I think the big boys want him out because he's too stupid.
Oh, yeah, he's causing too many problems.
Yes, so I think they'll just shunt him out. They'll build up this whitewater nonsense enough, and they've even come up with another one today.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes.
You know that the Foster killing is the big thing now.
Yeah.
Because the way he was found, there was no blood or anything else.
And he was right-handed. I mean, he was left-handed, and the gun was in his right hand. But they did.
His right hand was wrapped around it, and he was laying with his hands down at his side.
Yeah, but they had they found powder marks on his right hand. Of course, now you can do that yourself. You just, when you murder someone, you put the gun in his hand and then press his finger on it, and he'll get plenty of powder on his hand.
He can do it just by shooting anywhere. He doesn't have to shoot it himself. He can shoot anywhere.
Oh, well, you would naturally aim it someplace else. That is, after you finished him off.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he'd let you do it while he was conscious.
Oh, Lyndon Thompson came out with 3 of these people that were killed, the agents that were killed at Waco.
Yeah.
They were all shot in the temple execution style.
Well,
bullet wounds, but they were shot in the temple execution style, and they have pictures of it.
well, I'd like to see those pictures because I don't believe it.
Well, evidently, that's what they found.
Well, see, since I majored in journalism. I was a reporter. I'm a historian. I sort of keep an ear to the ground, and I like to pick up on all of that stuff. And there's too much out of Waco is just simply hatred of the feds. And people who put out propaganda like that to people that they want to buy their newsletters, people who are afraid of everything and everybody, then they can tell them that. And of course, there's no way you can check. And of course, someone could put out a picture of 3 of anybody,
Yeah.
and just take a pencil and make a whole a dot on the forehead, and most people would accept it. Like, for instance, in the Koresh book, Stewart showed a pile of bodies there, burned, and now I wasn't going to say anything. I mean, Stewart, he's a lovable guy, but those were not Waco bodies. See, I was a photograph of another pile of burned bodies. He didn't. Oh, he's a kidder, all right. But you can do anything you want with photographs. I've got pictures of all kinds of stuff. It's like where during well, a little after the war, when they were building up this anti-Nazi propaganda, they would, my cousin, she told me that the Nazis had done this and that, and I guess they were pretty unfriendly to certain people. But she says, well, I was in the movie show, and I saw that they had the cameras there, they had all these showers, and they showed the people going in there from the Nazi films themselves, and they put gas in there. Well, my goodness, you could take a camera up to my wife's shower, and photograph it and say that they put gas through there. That doesn't mean anything. You can do all kinds of things with photography. So I would have to see people and talk to them and interview them before I would believe that nonsense. See, Koresh, I could play you back a tape that I've got from CBN. That's the Christian Broadcasting Network, where they did a study of that, and their study was totally in conflict with all of this anti-federal propaganda. There's certain people in this country that want you to buy newsletters. They want you to they want to cut you off from all reason. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to believe anything they say, and they'll tell you, like this guy who. I was watching this thing that I'd recorded about it was from about 1985, and you ever heard of Allan Poe?
I've heard of it.
Okay, Allan Poe was a neo-Nazi type with a whole bunch of people at a neo-Nazi convention in Ohio, and he looked straight in the camera, and he said there are 200 Russian tanks in Baja California, and there are 50,000 Russian soldiers stationed in Mexico. Well, the man is an absolute liar. I mean, this was several years ago. What happened to them? Why would the Mexicans let 50,000 Russian soldiers in their country? And how could you put 200 tanks on Baja California, which is just a sandy peninsula? It doesn't make any sense, but you see, he knew that the people he was talking to weren't about to check it out. They were believers. They would believe anything he said. Of course they were, and besides, a few F-16s or whatever our jets are could wipe the whole mess of them out. That's dumb. But people believe that, and like the thing that I wrote about the Antichrist is come, where this Dr. Wesley Swift was going on and on about, like he said, and I quote, there are 60,000 niggers training in the Arizona desert. A few months from then come the Watts riots, 1964 or 5. There was no blacks there, hardly. One black undercover man, when he went up on the rooftops to check out the snipers, he saw one of these guys with a .22 rifle trying to put 32 bullets in it. And so he figured he'd just pass on. There were no 60,000 trained blacks having anything to do with the Watts riots, and they couldn't get 60,000 blacks together to do anything, at least not legal, or, well, like Minutemen. I fooled around on the Arizona desert when I was a Minuteman, but then he says that there's 60,000 red Chinese on Baja California. Now, everybody in that area, because, see, I'd attended this Identity Wesley Swift Hollywood Women's Club meetings many occasions, because I ran around with those guys all the time. They were my best buddies, and a lot of them still are. And so he says that there's 60,000 red Chinese on Baja California. Well, the people there knew that you couldn't hide 60,000 field mice on Baja California, but they believed him because they wanted to believe him. They wanted him to accept them as totally loyal, and that is dumb.
Well,
So,
anyway, we're going to get your material and we're going to start preparing for...
okay, well, I think that you just love U.S. militia.
Yeah.
We got 3 issues out so far. You'll get a sample one, and I gave Stuart the main copy to make the negatives, and when he makes the negatives, it'll go to the printer. So in a few days, it'll be all ready to send out. That'll be the 4th issue. And I'd say to anybody that the 4 issues are worth the whole $35, although they will get 8 more. Okay, is that about it for now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't a conspiracy to take you off the air.
Well, no, it's no conspiracy. It was Speckles. Okay, bye for now. Okay, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. Hello, Kurt here.
Hi, Kurt. It's Steve.
Yes, Steve.
We can barely hear your callers on the air. There's something wrong.
Oh, my goodness.
So you need to turn the caller. There you go.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll get this ironed out, Steve. I'm awful sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I think that's done it. What did Kerry just do something?
Yeah, he pushed up the sound thing.
Okay, I should be hitting right around 0 on the meter then, so we're getting an adequate level in there.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that looking? Is that looking good?
Is it looking good? Okay, he nods. It's looking good.
Okay, sounds good. Just want to pass it on to you so the listeners can hear your callers.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Steve, since you're on, am I going to get that weekend program?
That I don't know. We're still checking on that. I had to work a double shift last night, so I didn't get out of here till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I just got in here tonight, and I'm still trying to get situated and get some work done, and then. But I will be with you on that the first of next week.
Okay, Steve. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963, and the mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt here.
Kurt, this is Warren in Mississippi.
Hi, Warren.
Your audio sounds good.
Yeah.
Right now, he did turn it up too high for a second there, and I guess the guy at the station turned you back down, but
Yeah.
it's sounding good.
Okay, good. Well, we got to get these things ironed out.
A comment on the chorus booklet you were talking about.
Yeah.
The pile of bodies right down at the bottom of that page, page 45, the first word is Dachau.
Yes, well, that's...
But Dachau is, in Germany during World War II. He wasn't trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes.
I know, but I didn't read the Dachau, and I thought, well, he was maybe putting...
I missed it, too, until a friend pointed it out.
Yeah.
But
so, well, he just thought...
At the bottom of the page if you bother to read it.
Yeah, well, he's a very honest guy. I knew he wanted to put the photograph in there, but I guess his conscience got to him, and he figured, well, a lot of people will just look at the photograph and not read the words under it.
And boy, I tell you, I saw that fire as it started when that tank backed out of the doorway, and it got about 3 lengths away from the doorway, and just a whole place went up. I saw it. I just happened to have a TV on and watching it.
Well, I know, but were you there?
No. Well, I saw it real time. It wasn't anything back anybody had fooled with. It was live coming over there.
Well, who knows? Well, when everybody concerned is dead, then they'll release the real truth. But I don't think it's anything for you to worry your head about, because you're not a cultist, and you probably don't have an arsenal that's going to worry anybody.
I wasn't going to mention. I was just going to mention that and get off the air. But
yeah.
I agree with you. I personally believe there is a conspiracy. But anyhow, regardless of all that, there must be a monetary collapse when we can't pay the interest on the debt. There's got to be a collapse.
Oh, there definitely will be.
And that will take place within the next year or two.
Yes. Yes.
And
well, as far as conspiracies are concerned, I saw a cartoon in a magazine a few years ago, and it had to do with a woman being interviewed about who made the decisions in her household. And she says, well, I decide what to buy, and I take care of the house, and I make sure the kids are clean and well fed, and I take care of my husband. And I make all the decisions like that don't amount to nothing. But my husband, he makes all the important decisions, like what to do about Red China and Russia. See, so
enough said.
I would prefer that people concentrate on their homes and the people closest to them, and don't worry about things that they can't do a thing about anyway. Now, if you should just imagine the worst thing that Clinton could possibly do, or anybody else in government, and you should find out about it. Well, what could you do about it?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, so why worry about stuff like that? It's interesting,
that's
but it isn't something that you should start hiding under the bed about.
Right. Well, yeah, I go along with that, and that's why I say I like the Amish lifestyle. Now throw in a little science and technology and a little self-defense in there, and I think that's just about the ideal setup.
Well, you see, let me get in a plug here. You see, the Survivors, the 4 volumes, is all the science and technology that your great-grandparents used. And, of course, you've got your setup, you've got your food growing, or you've got it stored or whatever. And then the poor man's James Bond and the U.S. militia will make it so that you're safe from anybody who wants to take it from you. And if you get prepared on that basis, on a personal level, just taking care of yourself and your loved ones, and especially if you get some kind of business that you can use to be supported by your neighbors.
I am personally prepared. I've been collecting stuff for 30 years, and 6 years ago I moved out in the country. It's all paid for. I'm retired. And I might mention this to some of the people that just can't work up the nerve to quit it all and go out in the country. My actual cost of living here, I've got a nice workshop and I've got a trailer on 5 acres. It's all paid for. My actual cost of living is about $50 a week.
Very good.
And you can make $50 a week on just any old way.
Yeah, well, you see, a lot of people don't understand that sort of thing. They don't realize that the program that I'm proposing, it doesn't cost anything really because you save so much.
Yeah.
It's not a big. It's not like buying thousands of dollars worth of that garbagey commercial survival foods.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, for instance, if you read a publication like American Survival Guide, all that is just it's just a magazine full of ads. Everything is a come on to support the advertisers, but the reader is just considered a sucker who can't really do anything for himself, although there are occasional articles on doing something for yourself.
Well, that's exactly why I subscribe to it. You get the article here and there, and like Backwoods Home Magazine is very good. You get articles in that, and some other all of yours. And
well, my favorite among publications is the Countryside and Small Stock Journal.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that, and I just...
Well, there's a full-page ad for it in the...
I have the address written down.
Yeah, did you get the information packet?
Oh, yes.
Well, there's a half-page ad for Countryside in Shoestring Entrepreneur.
That is definitely on my list of must-dos.
Okay, then.
Okay, nice talking to you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Okay, again, the phone number is 501-437-2963. And when you send for that information packet, give your choice for root rot, which is it exposes Alex Haley as a fraud and all this. Well, I'll get onto that a little later. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
How you doing, Kurt? Are there any more of those David Koresh things available at all? Or?
Well, we have a few, but now when they run out, we're not going to bother with it anymore.
Because I got one from you, but I was talking to a friend of yours.
Yeah.
A friend of yours, and she wanted one, so I sent it to her. And,
well, you should have copied it on a copier and kept it, because when they run out, I've talked to Stuart about it, and he's not going to print any more.
Okay.
Because I prefer Root Rot, and that's really a fantastic book. You would love it. You can take that book and you can rub the liberals' noses in it, the ones who think that white Americans are obligated to black Americans for what happened to the black Americans' ancestors. And this book proves beyond any argument that the blacks were not stolen or kidnapped into slavery. They were rescued from a fate worse than death.
Right. Well, I think it's the liberals that really, screwed up the blacks. Because I'll tell you a little story. My grandfather, in the 1930s in New York, he used to live down in Little Italy. And during the Depression, he told me that the white people used to go up to Harlem to take in a show or restaurant or something.
Yeah.
He said the blacks had their own businesses up there. They were doing good up there. They didn't hate the whites. And they were glad, for their patronage for white people to come up there.
Yeah.
Which just amazed me. But I don't know when all this hatred, Louis Farrakhan type stuff came in.
Well, I don't think Louis Farrakhan has much to do with the hatred, but I was watching one of my older tapes, CBN, and it gave the statistics from 1943 in New York City.
Right.
And in 1943 in New York City, there was 3% illegitimacy, and today it is 46% illegitimacy.
And that's among the black people, or?
Well, the whole thing, but there were still a lot of black people there then.
Yeah, I just can't figure why the change came in, because the blacks had their own businesses, and you know, what the heck happened there? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, if you would like it to make some sense, you have your pencil?
Yep.
You ought to have your pencil. Everybody listening.
My pocket just took a second to get out.
Okay, write down this book, Paved with Good Intentions.
Paved with
Good Intentions.
Good Intentions. Okay.
By Jared, J-A-R-E-D, Taylor. Now, you get that book, and it will answer all your questions, and it will tell how in the early 40s and before that, most blacks were married, they had jobs. A lot of the blacks didn't have jobs during the Depression. That was hard on everyone. It was even harder on the blacks. But and there was white racism. There's no doubt in that, and there was a lot of injustice. But since they put the blacks on welfare, then everything has gone downhill. And so you'll have a black woman with as many as 8 children by 8 different males. And I just cannot see any reason for that at all. Her great-grandmother would have killed her.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't see why anybody, black, white, or indifferent, any woman, should let a man have sex with her unless they are before a justice of the peace first. It doesn't make any sense at all, and if they do, they're just plain sluts, no matter what anybody says.
Well, they get paid for doing the wrong thing. They get whatever.
Well, then that's a prostitute. So they're sluts and prostitutes when they get paid for spreading for any guy that comes around and don't demand a marriage license.
Right.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? Okay, another quick question. Somebody told me that you lost a few fingers somehow, or?
Yeah, I was mixing some chemicals, and I didn't know what I was doing, and that was a good lesson for me.
Was that your right hand or your left hand?
My left hand.
Oh, so you didn't lose your trigger finger there?
No.
Okay. Okay, thanks a lot. Just curious.
You're very welcome.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye. Okay, the phone number again is 501-437-2963. And the mailing address for the $10 packet is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Hi, Kurt. How you doing?
Doing fine.
Just wondered what your comments were. The IRA in the last 30 hours has launched mortars twice at the airport, and none of them exploded.
Well, that is pitiful. They don't have my books.
That's what I was thinking. I believe they had over 10 to 12 mortars hit the runway, and none of them exploded.
Well, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. I had for a good friend several years ago, Stuart Christie. He was the editor of the anarchist publication Black Flag. I just like to buddy up with all kinds of people out of the mainstream. And he was, totally against Britain and all like that. And so I sent him a tape, and I told him how the Irish could get the British out of England. Would you like to know how?
Sure.
Okay. All they have to do, by killing people and maiming people and hurting children, that just makes the British more resolved to resist. The same way when Hitler thought he could bomb London and make them quit, well, that just made them more determined.
Right.
See, so what you got to do is just get a line on all of the transmission towers in England, and they can't guard them all. They can't guard them around the clock, and just have people who know electronics and who know how to destroy things. And when there is a big soccer game or a big cricket match, just about the highlight of it, then zap the towers. Now, you do that a few times, and you would have the British public, because they're all sports happy, so anxious are they going to be able to watch the end of that game that they would say, well, the hell with being in Ireland. Who cares? We got to have our game. If you did it today to people's soap operas, you could demand anything. Yeah. But you see, that way they wouldn't have to hurt anybody, but they would make the British public so enraged, not at the IRA, but at the British government.
Right. I just think it's pretty pitiful that I mean, they had direct hits on that runway. Nothing exploded.
It was pathetic. It was just as pathetic as the...
You must have been reading the Anarchist Cookbook or something.
Probably so. That's a real suicide manual. If you want to have something that doesn't work, buy that book.
Oh, I have it.
It's garbage, isn't it?
Yeah. I have your manuals here. And
well, actually, it was the inspiration for the Poor Man's James Bond. So when I read that in 1971, I figured, look, if anyone can get away with selling garbage like that, I, who know better, can do better. And so I put out the Poor Man's James Bond.
Well, I just hope somebody in the IRA has got a shortwave and can get your book.
Well, I hope so, but I would rather them zap the towers rather than killing people, and especially horses like they did one time. That was sick.
Yeah.
But let's see, the World Trade Building, that was a real pitiful thing, too. If they had done it right, they could have brought the building down, killing 50,000 infidels.
Yeah.
And as it was, they only killed 6 people. Now, I am not for anything like that.
But if you do it right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't let those ragheads in here in the first place.
I agree.
But anyway, that's right. If you're going to do something, do it right. Yeah. Or else leave the country.
Okay, Kurt, I enjoy your show.
Okay, buddy.
Take care.
Bye for now. Okay, the number is 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Well, hello, Kurt.
Yes.
Hi, this is Uncle Fester up in Green Bay. It's nice talking to a fellow so-called wacko.
Yes. Well, look, the Addams family was. I've even got that on tape. Uncle Fester was. He's a man after my own heart.
Yes, it's such a joy to talk to you. I just bought a shortwave radio a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And the first thing I tuned into was your program.
Oh, turn down the volume on your radio. You're sounding like you're coming from the underground cave at the Addams family, but it sounds nice to me, but it might disturb others.
Yes, I just turned it down.
Yes, you're coming in loud and clear now.
Great. I have 2 points I'd like you to address. Since I've never heard your show before, I don't know if you've ever touched on them before or not.
Yeah.
But, well, first point I'd like to address is the fact that within a couple or 3 decades, the white population of this country is going to be a minority. We're already close to be a minority group in the under 18 age bracket because us white folks just aren't cranking out the babies on an assembly line.
Well,
what effect do you see this population shift having upon the political and economic life in this country?
Well, the collapse will come long before we're outnumbered. But your premise may be that you think that white people should have more babies. I would say that black people as well as whites should stop having babies altogether. We've got over 5.5 billion people on this planet. Our cities are swamped with losers. The whole system is coming down around our ears. This is not the time to have babies. And you don't see what with the firepower that is developed, you don't need to outbreed the people you consider your enemies. And if they didn't breed so much, then we wouldn't be considering them enemies anyway. So I am all for, well, like for instance, a person on welfare should not be allowed to get welfare unless they first present a doctor's certificate of sterilization. If this were so, then we would have very few problems. Of course, we'd have the rest of the world to contend with, too.
Yes, yes. Okay, well, I'd like to move on to point number 2.
Okay.
This is what I see as the rapid dumbing down of the population.
Oh, definitely. The IQ, that people are becoming so downbred, it's miserable. You talk to any teenager, and you got...
I've dated a couple lately.
Yeah, well, they're miserably stupid. If you should read, well, now in U.S. Militia, I am reprinting Lothrop Stoddard's classic, The Revolt Against Civilization, and from 1922, and he describes the situation as we see today. Then, of course, you might read C.M. Kornbluth's The Marching Morons. That's what we've got today.
Well, I'm not so sure if this is a genetic problem or anything like that. I think it's a schooling problem and a lack of a socialization and a lack of civility in what people are naturally are when they're born, which is a bunch of barbarians, you know?
Well, I'm a barbarian. You didn't hear my article on that, but I may do it again. But no, the thing is genetics, because the IQ is dropping like a stone. See, when just to take you back to the basics, the people who have a real struggle to stay alive, only the intelligent live, the losers die. And as the system becomes improved, it allows the weaker types mentally to survive, whereas they would die otherwise, see.
So the social support systems are encouraging those that are less gifted among us to breed disproportionately.
That's right. So the thing is, if everyone with an IQ below 110, say, were sterilized, then the IQ would shoot up in a generation.
Well, I didn't consider that. I just thought it was bad schooling and lack of socialization at home.
No, you can't teach a moron anything.
Well, that's true. I noticed that at work a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
See,
also,
what you want to do, talk to a stupid person. Make friends with them. A lot of them are very nice people. They just don't have anything to work with. And talk to them, give them logical talks, and see if they can respond. Their brains simply don't work. It's like a little handheld computer as opposed to a desktop computer. They just don't have what it takes to think.
Well, you got a point there, Kurt. Also, I've noticed that people just don't have any backbone today. They're just always looking for Big Brother to take care of them, and it's just granted that, well, that's just the answer, and they don't want to do anything for themselves. And I see the situation only getting worse, and my taxes are already well beyond what I can afford to pay.
Well, you ought to move to Arkansas.
If I didn't have to show up for work every day, I tell you, I'd quit.
What do you do?
Well, I'm a chemist.
A chemist. Hey, look, move here. We need you.
Oh.
Now, if you order one of my books or something, and you really ought to, you'd love them. Also, you see, my books show beyond any...
I've gotten a few of your books there. I'm a competing author of yours.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll ask for a realty guide, and you'd be surprised at the fantastic property values there are here. And what I'd like to do is create a kind of Gulch. Did you read Atlas Shrugged?
No, I keep on hearing about it, but I've never gotten around to reading that one yet.
You ought to read it, because we're going to have to get together the intelligent and functional people and then let the system kill itself off.
Yeah, well, I'm quite fed up with the system, Kurt, but I love your show, and it's wonderful talking to you.
Okay, order my information packet. You would really love it.
So, I've got your Alpena address there. I'll get it in the mail tomorrow.
Okay, now, do you want Root Rot or the Fuel book?
I can already brew and distill my own fuel.
Okay, you would love Root Rot.
Right.
Because of what you came on with, you would just be crazy about Root Rot.
Okay, I'll give that a whirl there, Kurt.
Okay, buddy.
Great talking to you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye for now. Hello, here we are again, 501-437-2963. And if you would like to get... Oops. Hello, Kurt here.
Yes, I just got your package today.
Yes.
And first I want to thank you for it, because we'd had trouble getting one, and apparently you sent this one out different ways, so we got it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about the Corona Mill.
Well, the Corona grain mill costs $40 plus $4 UPS, and you are to give your phone number and your delivery address, because it goes by UPS.
Okay, can I ask you a couple of quick questions about it?
Sure.
When I was growing up, now I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it was a long time ago, and my mom and dad had a little mill. It looked an awful lot like this in a picture, but where stuff comes out, you used to have different blades that you could put on there to get different coarseness.
Yes.
Is this like this one here?
Well, it doesn't have different blades. I think you can get some with different blades, but the one that is being sold, I get very good grind, for not pastry grind, but it's good for bread. And what you might do, well, what I do is when I'm grinding my corn and wheat and stuff like that, I grind it in a screen, like a regular window screen, made it into a bottom of a wooden box, and then I shake it out, each grind, and then what doesn't go through, I just put through the grinder again. But if you had a smaller mesh screen, then you could get any kind of grind you wanted. I guess you'd get a smaller mesh screen at a well-equipped hardware store. I'm going to check that out when I go back to town.
Just keep sending it through.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
but the thing is, it will last you all your life, and it makes the most fantastic energy-giving bread.
Okay. I have a couple more quick questions for you.
Okay.
In the other book that came with this, The U.S. Militiaman?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think it's one of your clearance stories. You talk about building a shotgun, and then you say, see page such and such.
Yeah, well, that's in issue 1.
That's what I wanted to find out, which issue that stuff was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, subscribe, and then you'll get another one, what you got, and you can give that to a friend or throw it away, and you'll have 3 copies. And then I just gave Stuart, my printer, the what he's going to make negatives from. And then by probably Monday, I'll send the negatives to the printer, that is the big printer. And so within a few days, a couple of weeks at the most, we'll have issue 4. So you'd start out with 4.
Okay. I want to go back to the Corona Mill one real quick. You're up in the north end of Arkansas. I grew up in the northern end of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of rice down there. Have you ever ground any rice in that?
No, I haven't, but you can. You can grind any grain.
Yeah. But you've never ground rice to see what it would turn like out. We were curious about that, if it, make good, I don't know, meal, mush, flour.
Well, it's just, it's flour. It would be rice flour.
Okay.
It'll even hold sunflower seeds.
No, I've never thought of that.
Well, you just put your sunflower, you just adjust it so that it doesn't crush the seeds, and pour the seeds in there, and it just rubs the seeds together so it pulls apart the hulls.
Okay, now, can you answer me one more quick question? I'm
Sure.
not sure this would, be a help to me, because I live in Michigan right now.
Yeah.
We've located a place around here where we can get a few grains, but things like rye and a few things like that, I can't find any place.
You might have to, if they don't grow it in your state, you probably have to get it through the health food store, and it costs you about twice as much, but it's worth it.
It's well over twice more.
Well, okay then.
Because that was one, we thought of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other ideas. We checked the elevators around here. And
well, like for instance, people in Florida can't get hard red winter wheat.
Okay, I can get any kind of wheat.
Yeah.
Just that I can't get any anything like the rye.
Yes.
We were curious about that.
Well, then you'll just have to get it through your health food store.
Okay.
Unless your feed store would order it for you, but they probably wouldn't.
I doubt
because if they don't grow it there, then they just wouldn't bother with it.
No, I agree with that. About how long does it take to get that mill once you order it?
Well, they did have problems shipping it a few weeks ago. They were just swamped. But now they've caught up on those orders, and so it shouldn't take more than a week to 10 days to get it to you by UPS after we call it in.
Okay. My wife just wrote me a note on the mill again. Grinding corn. Can you just use regular corn?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, with corn, what you do is you set it for a coarse grind, and then you grind it through, and then when you got it broke up into like 3 or 4 things per grain, then you just set it a little closer.
Okay, but regular peel corn will be fine.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that's what we were wondering about.
Yeah. Makes the best cornbread for 6 cents a pound if you buy it at your seed store.
That's about what we figured. It's so much cheaper than what you can get at the grocery store.
Oh, sure. You can save a lot of money because it costs 28 cents a pound degerminated and 40 cents a pound the health food store type.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. Listen, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, last caller, 501-437-2963. The mailing address is P.O. Box 95, Alpena, Arkansas, 72611. And when you send in your $10, choose Root Rod or the Fuel Book. Hello, Kurt Saxon here.
Yes, I heard a caller say that everybody's just getting dumber. And being 22, I see dumb people younger than I am.
Yeah.
And I see dumb people older than I am. And I wonder if
you misunderstood. Not everybody's getting dumber. I'm not getting dumber, and you're not getting dumber, and my engineer isn't getting dumber. The children born are dumber than their parents, usually. See, each generation is getting dumber. But what you were born with is what you have.
You think it's just out of luxury? Maybe if we had a little less luxury?
Well, if you had a little less luxury, then the people who make no effort to live would die, and then they wouldn't pass on their defective genes. See, the dumber people have been allowed to live and have children. And whereas a couple of hundred years ago, they would have died and they wouldn't have had children. So, but now the dumb people could be sterilized, so they didn't have children, and the IQ would go up.
Do you think anybody's actually taken a kid with dumb genetics and made him smart just by taking him out of...
Can't do it. Can't do it, because that is built in. It's the genes. Okay, we gotta go now, and I sure appreciate your call.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Now it's sign-off time. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So this is Kurt Saxon saying goodbye and be good.